always had Jamal Lascelles behind the scenes as the team captain, and rightly so, because the lad came in, you know, he showed the passion, he showed the drive, he showed what us Newcastle United fans want to see. What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mags. So it is deadline day today, but I don't think we'll be seeing any arrivals into, of course, St James's Park today. But never say never. Looking at it, of course, we're going to be previewing the game on Wednesday against, of course, Man City down at the Etihad, the second leg of the semi-final for the Carabao Cup. Of course, we're already going into this one 2-0 down after the first leg at St James's Park, where, of course, Man City took away a 2-0 lead in the game. But we head to the Etihad on Wednesday night, knowing exactly what is required of us and exactly how difficult the task is ahead as well. Like I say, trailing 2-0 from first leg, Eddie Howe and the lads must attempt to overturn the deficit, of course, in the game down at the Etihad, with a place at Wembley on Sunday the 22nd of March at stake. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, of course, on Wednesday, and we will be backed by a sizable travelling support for this one of 5,359 fans going down there, hoping to witness something special under the lights at the Etihad. Now, the task ahead, the equation is simple here. Win by 2 goals, we'll go extra time. Win by 3 goals, we'll go straight through to Wembley, and you can tell your ma you'll be home early for tea. Draw or defeat in the journey is all. Of extra time will follow, with penalties required if still undecided. And winning at Wembley, and waiting at Wembley will be, of course, already known as Arsenal host Chelsea on the Tuesday in September of 2018, about 690 minutes ago, I believe it is. Correct us if I'm wrong down in the comments below. In the last away side to win by 2 goals in the League Cup at this ground, of course, was ourselves back in October 2014. Looking in the trenches going into this one on our side and on Man City's side. The injuries continue to bite us at the worst possible time, unfortunately. We're unavailable players are Tino Livramento, Fabian Shaw and Joel Linton. There is doubts over, of course, Bruno, who hasn't been seen for the last few games, barring, of course, I'm going on the trip to Paris. And of course, other doubts are Sven Botman and Lewis Miley. Assuming he features, Harvey Barnes will make his 100th appearance in all competitions for the club as well. Characters, and Harvey Barnes has been a massive character for us in the last few months and games. And looking at, of course, the City side of things, despite, you know, recent rule changes allowing players to represent multiple clubs in competitions this season, Mark Guehi is not eligible for this game, as his move from Palace wasn't completed before the semi-final first leg, so he will not be available for Man City in this game on Wednesday night, which is a good thing because that means they are going to have to go into this one with quite a hefty injury list of massive players by their standards, of Jeremy Doku, Ruben Dias, John Stones, Josko Gvardiol, Mateo Kovacic and Silvinho, all on the injury table. Pep Guardiola's side, of course, come into this game after a 2-2 draw at Spurs on Sunday night, of course, last night as I record this on deadline day. But they weren't very flawless in the game, I've got to say. I watched the game, it wasn't that entertaining. It was a bit of a drab game, and it's pretty much shown by the 2-2 scoreline there how it was. The little bit of controversy going into this game is the fact of the official Howard. I don't know too much about Paul Howard, but we have had him before, and I don't think he was all that great, so hopefully he doesn't have to be involved too much in the game. But the referee hails from Hartlepool area, and he is a self-proclaimed Mackham. Newcastle's first game of the season for him as well. The last time he officiated over a game, it was our final day home loss to Everton, of course, last season. So not looking forward to his officiating on Wednesday night. Hopefully he doesn't have to be involved in the game too much, but knowing what he is, he's probably going to want to get his nose in there quite a bit. Looking at our records down at the Etihad, let's, not sugarcoat it. It's not a great record. The Etihad, like I say, the last time we won there was October of 2014, and it was a 2-0 win with goals from Aarons and Sissoko in the League Cup. Before, after all of Dean in the league was a 5-0 defeat. Then, of course, the season after that, we're seeing a 6-1 defeat, then a 3-1 defeat, 2-1 defeat, 5-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat, 5-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat, 1-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat in the FA Cup in the 23-24 season, then a 4-0 defeat in the 24-25 season. So, you know, it's not a great place for us to go, but hopefully, you know, the cup magic will be enough to see us, you know, get through, and hopefully the passion and the drive of the lads will get us into that Wembley final once again, just like March of last year. But looking off the pitch at the departures and deadline day noise, of course, as I record this on deadline day, Sky Sports have reported that Jamal Lascelles is set to make a permanent move to Leicester City today. Of course, it was talked about last night, but I was busy, so I didn't have time to report about it on the channel. But 32 years old, out of contract in the summer, 253 appearances for Newcastle United, and of course, last featured against Arsenal in September. Quiet but significant moment, and of course, the likely end of an era. I mean, I've got to show respect to Jamal Lascelles. He came into Newcastle United back when Rafa Benítez was the manager. He came in and he went into that dressing room and he told all of the senior players what were they thinking, getting right in their faces and making it heard that, you know, he wanted the club to do well. And from that moment on, he has always been Newcastle United's captain, even when Kieran Trippier got the captaincy and Bruno got the captaincy, of course, this season. And, you know, last season we're seeing Bruno holding the captaincy and Trippier with the captaincy. We've always had Jamal Lascelles behind the scenes as the team captain, and rightly so, because the lad came in, you know, he showed the passion, he showed the drive, he showed what us Newcastle United fans want to see, you know. We want to see that passionate leader, and that is what Jamal Lascelles has always been at Newcastle United. Yes, he's had his problems with injuries over the years, but he's always given 110% when he's went out there on the pitch for us and played in that black and white shirt and represented Newcastle in games. And I'm really, really happy that he got that moment in March, even though he was injured, to be able to lift that cup alongside Bruno and Trippier. And I thought that was a really good show of respect and class as well from Trippier and Bruno to allow Jamal Lascelles to be able to be part of that, lift the trophy at the same time. Because he's been here, he's been through all the heartache, he's been through all of the triumph, the drama moments, and to see him be able to get that moment to lift the cup in the first piece of silverware for Newcastle United in 70 years, you know, is absolutely amazing. And I'm happy that he got to witness that moment in Newcastle United before he's departed, of course, to Leicester. But he will always be welcome back in Newcastle United for what he's done for this club and how he's represented this club on and off the pitch during injury or during playing for Newcastle United. So I wish him all the best at Leicester, and like I say, he's welcome back anytime in Newcastle United. Looking at some of the other news that's been circulating around as well today in the transfer window, don't take any notice of it. There will be no more departures from what I can see. You know, there's reports going around saying that Sandro Tonali's going to Arsenal. It's absolute hogwash. It's terrible, pathetic clickbaity articles by the media. It's not happening. Keith Downey's come out and said it's not happening. You know, Eddie's said him's nobody coming in, but you never know. We might get, you know, the odd youngster or something come in for the youth team, but first teams, I don't think we're going to be seeing anybody. I think, you know, we're holding, like I've said in the previous video I did, we're keeping more powder dry for that summer window, because that's where we're going to spend, you know, the big money. That's where we're going to rebuild the team, and Ross Wilson and the other lads, you know, that are working on the transfers for Newcastle are doing all of the work behind the scenes, and they are looking at all of the possible players that we can bring in the summer window. I don't think we'll be seeing anybody to come in, to be honest, in this January window now. It's far too late to be bringing anybody in anyway, and we want to be bringing in the right people. We don't want to be putting money out there that causes problems down the line for it, and we need to focus on bringing in the right people for the right price, and people that can improve the team going forward as well. But let us know your thoughts. The odds are stacked against we. The injuries are mounting up, and Etihad is an unforgiving place, but I think we will have enough hopefully in the tank to see ourselves get through. But if not, I mean, even if it is the end of the road, we should be really, really happy with how well we've done in the cup, defending our honour. We've done a lot better than the other champions of last season. Liverpool, they haven't defended their honour very well for the Premier League title. And Crystal Palace, got knocked out in the first chance of trying to defend their FA Cup titles. So I'm really happy with how we've defended it. So if it does happen to be the end of the road on Wednesday night, I'm not going to be, of course, pissed at the players for that at the end of the day. It's just the way it is. It is the Etihad, it is Man City. This is a team, that won 4 Premier Leagues in a row. This is a team that's been dominating English football for a long time. So we've got to, just bide with time, and eventually we will get to that point where, we can do stuff like that. But at this moment in time, as it is, it's just not available to it at the minute. We don't have the income streams that these teams have to be able to keep up with them. But we're doing a good job with what we've got. And, in time, in the next few seasons, we'll be there on a permanent basis. But that's not to say that we're going to lose that game against Man City. I think, if we put up a fight, we're defiant at the end. We've got every chance at the end of the day. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below.